Okay, I'm not recording. Coming to you from the dark recesses of the proverbial Dawn Forge pouch. This is episode number 250 of the Shattered Soulstone. Wolcen's launch is pretty broken. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get your free audiobook download at bit.ly/soulstonebooks2020. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPod MP3 player or your real man phone. It is February 18th, 2020, and I am Shazam. I brought again, dude has been playing WoW pretty extensively. Yeah, so I brought King Tut back.
Yeah, I would say that extensively pretty much nails it. Probably too much if I had to be honest.
So I know you've talked about this on Discord, so tell everybody else what you've been doing this past week.
So we were all pumped for Blackwing Lair coming out for WoW Classic this week. The guild had a great plan. We have two teams, Team Thunder Fury, which we do have the two bindings for, and then Team Iron Foe, which nobody has Iron Foe. And it went good. It opened on Wednesday. Our first raid team cleared in about 4 hours. Server 5th or server 6th, I think. One horde actually did it first on Pagel. And then we get to Thursday night, and we're getting all of our world buffs, and everything's going well. And we're doing the fire resist buff from Upper Blackrock Spire, where you mind control one of the enemies in there, and then you get him to apply a fire resistance buff. So, we had guys helping with that, and it turns out one of the guys that was helping had already cleared BWL the night before, and then he, for some reason, zoned in to BWL, which at that point locked everybody in the raid group to an already cleared instance, which was the majority of our team. So there was, frustration. We were all looking forward to this. We've been looking forward to it for weeks, and suddenly we couldn't do it. But we submitted tickets, and surprisingly enough, I know Blizzard's been catching a lot of flack for not necessarily providing the best support for WoW Classic. I've been frustrated with a few things that I couldn't get fixed, but they did. They reset our raid IDs. Most of us submitted tickets and got it reset, Friday through Saturday, and then Monday night we went ahead and we gave it like a test run shot. There's 8 bosses in there. We went 2 of 8. We killed 2 of them. We got to the third one, wiped on them, and at that point we were about 3 hours in, and we decided to just give it a rest. And we're going for it again on Thursday. I'm pretty confident that we can clear all 8 bosses. It's really just, it's not a DPS or a healing. It's really a mechanics thing. It's new bosses, new mechanics, and that's kind of what I like, is that we're at the point where it's progression, right? It's different than Diablo. Diablo, it's the same thing all the time, right? We're always killing mobs. We're always hoping for loot. While there's tons of randomness to it, you pick your difficulty level and you just keep doing it. And whereas this, if we don't get all 8, if we get 6, then we'll try for 7 the next week, and we're going to get better every time as we learn where we need to position ourselves, how our tanks need to operate, how our healers need to operate. Obviously, DPS has to make sure that we don't pull threat and wipe the raid, because threat is a big thing in WoW Classic, so looking forward to it. I made myself a new weapon, and I've been making people a one-handed mace called Even Hand, which requires Thorium Brotherhood Exalted. So that's been fun having people whisper me and getting me to make that mace, because I think I'm still the only one on the server that can make it. So I try to make sure I'm in the trade city and advertise it every now and again. But good weekend. Still really enjoying it. Definitely looking forward to getting as much as I can done. I mean, I'm pretty much have all the gear. I can almost just raid log so that when D3 season 20 starts, I can give that a pretty good go. So I'm looking forward to that.
And you don't charge over 100 gold per time you make this weapon. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, so I ran the numbers and I probably invested about 1,000 gold in getting myself reputation. Then the guild put multiple thousands of gold into reputation so that I could craft these. So right now, I mean, we're not charging anything. We're asking for tips, but the tips go straight to the guild. So I'm not making any money off this. I got to go into Blackrock Depths to craft it. It has to be at the Black Anvil there. So I mean, all it's really costing me is some time, and we're never going to recoup the amount that that we spent. But the mats. But the nice thing is that most of the mats we use are just molten core mats. So we're going to keep running molten core for a long time, and we'll replenish all those things. It'll be all good.
The mats are bind on pickup or no?
No, they're uh they're just like crafting mats, like the fiery cores, lava cores, and then you there's these big dogs in there, and you skin those, and that's called core leather. So those are the three things that you could turn in, other than the dark iron ore, which you can mine in molten core, and there's a few places outside of molten core that you can mine. But those are the only four things you could turn in. Well, there's a fifth thing called the blood of the mountain, but that's super rare and way too expensive to turn in for rep.
No, I'm saying to make the weapon.
Yeah, to make the weapon, you need fiery cores and lava cores, dark iron bars, which dark iron bars you need like 8 ore to craft 1 bar, I think. And then you need arcane crystals, which that's the limiting factor. Those go for about 60 gold each, and you need 12 of them. And, you have to mine them for rich thorium, which is pretty rare other than in the Dire Maul East instance.
And these people that need the weapon are obviously giving you guys the mats to make the weapon, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
Okay.
bring the mats, we make it for them, and then hopefully get a tip, and they go on with their weapon. I mean, we could, in a perfect world, I'd have the mats, but these mats are not, like it's not easy to come by. So it's not like I can just stock the mats and then just straight sell them. If I was selling them, they would be probably 1,200 gold each.
Yeah, usually, at least when I played WoW, is when you want something made, you brought the mats to the person, they made it, and you gave them a bunch of money because either they're the only ones that have it like you, or there's only very few people, and if they're the only ones logged on at that time, then you basically, it's, you're the only one.
Yeah, and I mean, there's things that it's like getting the server first, like server first, Lionheart Helm, and a bunch of these plans that only drop in like molten core. Like when you're the first one, kind of get a lead on the market, and then as the server goes on, more people will be able to make it. But yeah, none of us are in this to make gold. Like we just want to make sure that guys that need these weapons are able to get them crafted.
Gotcha. Well, I started this week with Diablo 3, kind of like I always do, and with the new um, what next it called? The new patch for the PTR came out, and they added all the crafting mats and stuff to the bags from Dank Memes. So I did a couple. I got like 12 bags or so with my Demon Hunter because when she buys the bags of fortune, all she gets is, just gems, the ability to, add a socket to a weapon, and just the Mantle of Channeling because that's all the Demon Hunter stuff for this season. So I don't have to worry about getting an entire set of crap. So I just get all that. Plus I get all the crafting mats and bounty mats and everything, which makes, God, it makes it so good. And I was sitting there with like 1,500 or something bounty mats, and I grab an Oath Keeper, and I grab a pig sticker, and I walk over to the cube, and I just start re-rolling until I get a primal. And got a primal Oath Keeper, and I got a primal pig sticker, and rolled pretty good, attack speed damage. One had cooldown on it, and one had life per hit on it. So I was pretty rocking and rolling. And I walked into a 102, and I completely annihilated the 102. And then I hit the leaderboard of like 180 something or 150 something, I can't remember. And then I just basically logged off when I'm done. I don't need to do any more. This build's pretty good, so I left it at that. And Wednesday I didn't play any video games, I don't think. Last Wednesday. Because I had to go pick up my comic books for the past year, and I sat there and BS'd with all the people at the comic book shop for, better part of like 4 or 5 hours. And picked up all my books and stuff like that. And then I got this book, which was on sale for like $15, but it's 75 years of Shazam, which I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys seen it. It was $15, and it was like, I don't know, half off or something like that. So I picked that up too. My bill for an entire year of comic books was $850. So I picked them all up for the past year. Basically, mostly all DC's comics, but some Marvel thrown in there. I'm being told that this week Wolverine's finally getting a series back, so we'll see. Hopefully it's good. But Thursday came, and I left work normal time because Wolcen was out from, I think, 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock Eastern time that morning. So I hurry up, left work, and I came home. I logged on, and boy, it was a pain in the neck to log on. It was fine for Thursday night. Couldn't complain too much. Like servers, some instability, stuff like that. Some stupid stuff. But other than that, it was fine. I log off for the night, go to bed, wake up Friday morning, Friday, go to work. Come home from work on Friday, and I'm like, yeah, got all weekend to play Wolcen. Go to log in, and you can't log into the server, and then you're like, oh, what the hell? So you first go to their website, and for some reason that they don't update their website when something bad happens, they tell everybody on Twitter and Reddit. I'm not a Reddit person, so I jump on Twitter, and server's down for an unspecified amount of time. Apparently, a couple hours before I got home from work, they applied a patch, and it broke everybody's stash tab. It broke all kinds of stuff in the game. So they literally shut the server down to fix it, and completely fix basically everything that from launch till Friday. I don't know, Friday midday. And so we're all sitting there Friday night, going, "When's the server coming back? When's the server coming back?" And then we don't want to play offline because server's coming back. We're gonna play online. So eventually eventually I just go, screw it. I start playing offline, and I wake up Saturday morning. I'm like, okay, I get to play online maybe. Nope, it's still down. Um, so I play offline some more. Offline some more a little bit, and then make a long story a little bit shorter. Servers didn't come online until Sunday, about, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern time. So from Friday till Sunday, that's how long it took them to fix everything. And servers on Monday were a little bit unstable, but you know, they're all right. There's people dropping and everything now and then, but it's it's not terrible. People, there's a lot of people complaining. A lot of people complained on Steam, but the truth of the matter is 13 people made this game. About 50 people work for this company right now. This is their first game. It's not like Bethesda, and I'm not going to say the other name that starts with a B because everybody else said their name, and I'm not going to say it. But this studio is not Bethesda. It's not EA. It's 13 people, man. You got to give them a little bit of break. They're
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain, right? It's like the price, the gaming studio, like big companies. Like, I mean, it's just the reality. Like, you brought out something new. It's not going to be perfect. It will become perfect. Just give it some time. Enjoy what you've got. You know.
and the thing that the collective people we the thing we took out of this weekend is all the people that complain and complain and complain. We want an offline mode. We want an offline mode for every game. This is BS. This last weekend proved that nobody wants an offline mode. Nobody. Because there was more people complaining that they couldn't get online and they didn't want nothing to do with offline. So, and them numbers were a lot higher than the people going, I don't mind playing offline. That's fine. I wanted to play online, but I wanted to play the game, so I played offline. It is what it is. I didn't go to the internet. I didn't complain. I just went, it is what it is. I can't do anything sitting in my chair in my living room that's gonna make these servers go on any quicker. So might as well just sit here and bite the bullet. But from Sunday until today, I have made two characters, one melee, one ranged. Me and Greed played before we started doing the show today. Um, they're both in the level 30s area, and they're both in Act 2, and I'm having a blast. These bosses are way harder than Diablo's bosses, I'll tell you that. There's what I'm finding out is there's three phases to every act boss, and like the discrepancy that I find with the game is whenever you're in the game, you go to Act 1, 2, or 3. They call them Chapter 1, 2, and 3, but the Steam achievements say Act 1, 2, and 3. It is what it is. I ain't complaining. Um, but yeah, if anybody's looking on YouTube or looking in Discord at the whenever the show drops, my screen is, I don't know, about 3/4 of the wheel for Wolcen. It's a little bit smaller in PoE. It's not as in depth, but you can move 3 segments around as any way you want to. And it's I think it's like the difficulty between Diablo and Path of Exile. But the graphics of this game are far superior than any other ARPG that's out there currently or has ever came out so far. That's PoE, that's Diablo, that's any of them. Grim Dawn. These graphics are amazing. Other than that, Diablo III season ends on March 1st. I don't know if we said that already. I feel that Diablo's season 20 is going to come out on the 13th because it's a Friday. And why wouldn't they make it Friday the 13th? It seems like the Diablo thing to do. Maybe the 6th, but I'm guessing more lines of Friday the 13th. Before we get into like a quick skim of the patch notes, I'm pretty sure you still don't have the notes up tut, so I'm just gonna talk about some of this stuff. Supposedly, GameSpot said this. A LinkedIn post by Activision president Nick Van Dyke. I know I was going to do that. Confirms the development of 2 new animated series based on Blizzard properties. That includes an Overwatch cartoon and a Diablo anime. We knew about the Diablo thing. I don't think we had any idea about an Overwatch cartoon. But we do now from somebody's LinkedIn page. But I didn't know Activision president was the dude's name was Nick Van Dyke. I thought it was some other dude, but I'm sure CEO or some other, whatever these people's titles are at Activision. I don't pay attention to Activision's side. All I know is they're the Call of Duty and Guitar Hero people. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like, I've been looking at some of their like PowerPoint presentations of like their quarterly things where they go over, yeah, like what Activision does, what Blizzard does, Candy Crush.
Yeah, I'm sure Candy crushes them all.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, so patch notes. They don't think that they nerfed the Crusader enough, so they're gonna take a look at it and maybe nerf it some more before season 20 starts.
Yeah, I could see a change to one of the damage modifiers possible.
The new Barbarian set, everybody complained about doing double damage on feared enemies. Now it's feared or frozen enemies. So if you freeze them, they're all stuck there. They all take double damage. You up the damage reduction to what is it? 6% per stack. Up to 10 stacks. We gotta do the math at 60% damage reduction. Big thing is frenzy lasts twice as long now, and I can verify that. It's doesn't fall off nearly as fast, and if you played like you did like the original rendition of this build, you won't have a problem getting to the next pack, and you know.
Yeah, it's a good change. I think it's what it needed. I mean, I think they did a really good job on all these changes for the PTR. They, it's pretty obvious what the people wanted, and I think they addressed pretty much everything.
I think that's everything with the barb. The witch doctor. Um,
So the witch doctor had an issue where it was laggy, right? So because there's so many calculations with the way that build worked, they they made some changes. Um, so the periodic attacks are now twice as slow but twice as powerful. So I assume what it means is they're having to do half as many calculations essentially, so that ideally it won't lag as much.
yeah, yeah. There's 50% of the stuff on screen, and it's still doing the same amount of damage. Because when I was with Greed, whenever he was doing this build, it looked like on top of his head, it looked like something that was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like something was like spitting like tons of things out at like one time, and
Yeah, they call it like the sprinkler build.
yeah, basically.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Like that's the best way to describe it. There's a lot of stuff going on the screen.
They fixed Big Bad Voodoo, now follows you, and goes through different floors with you now, and it follows the right people. And they up the damage reduction on that to 60% instead of 50% because they heard Greed bitching. So they wanted to help him out, but he still complains about it. If it was 99%, I think Greed would still complain it didn't have enough damage reduction.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever have enough with Witch Doctor.
They changed it now that the barber is now a ceremonial knife like it should be. So
Yeah.
the base attack speed's 1.4. Trying to quickly skim over this. They changed the Ring of Emptiness. Instead of the enemies being affected by both Haunt and Locust Swarm, now it's Haunt or Locust Swarm, and you deal 250 to 300% more damage. So now there's a lot of builds on the Witch Doctor that they can run a different skill instead of Haunt or Locust Swarm like Pronado or whatever. Everybody else wants that. Right now, they they changed the way the wizard stuff works, but I think the build's broken right now. I don't think that the heads are. I don't think the set's working right. Multiple people said that it doesn't have the damage reduction it should.
Yeah, so they made changes to where the heads can't die as quickly, and you're saying it sounds like just something to where like the amount of heads and the things that it's supposed to do are no longer
Yeah,
doing it correctly.
correct.
Which, again, this is why they 2-week PTRs, why you make a change, give people time to test it before you just throw it out there in a season, right?
And they essentially They buffed Typhoon's Veil, and they nerfed Legacy of Dreams. They upped the 6-piece bonus. Instead of it dealing 1,000 damage per head, it's 1,200 damage per head now. Reason being is because they took the Serpent Sparker that used to deal 450 to 600% damage. Now it's 350 to 450 damage. Because they did that to nerf Laud and buff the set. Just so nobody runs, just so everybody runs the set. I think that's it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, not, some small changes, nothing huge, but I think changes that should have been made.
There's a couple bug fixes, but other than that, everything else is about the same. I didn't know that NGM wasn't dropping for a Demon Hunter, but now it is.
Yeah, that makes me question, like, well, how long has that not been working? I mean, I don't know that I ever tried Ingome on any Demon Hunter builds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever have either.
But yeah, Ingome is, I mean, that's one where it's pretty obvious when it procs, right? Is it 100% proc or is it not 100?
That I don't know offhand. I don't use it enough to know what the thing is.
I think it's when you kill an elite, it just like reduces your cooldowns greatly for like 10 seconds or something, right? Or that's what changes.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, some with cooldowns. Other than that, that's basically all the news we have for the week. If you guys are into lore, Jen's Lore Corner, you can get a bookatgen.net. She does 15-minute to 20-minute episodes once a month, usually once a month, to tell everybody lore about Diablo. I'm sure she should be coming out with a new episode here pretty shortly. I think our last one was the Endurus Council. Yeah, give her a look. Bookatgen.net and get caught up. There's about 19 or yeah, there's probably about 19 or 20 episodes by now, so got at least them to listen to. Other than that, do you have any other media you would like to talk about this week?
No, really, WoW's been taking up all my time. I mean, I've, gone down some YouTube rabbit holes and I've watched a few movies on TV with the wife, but nothing that I'm like really into right now.
The only thing I've watched this week, it's on Netflix again. The series is called Nurses That Kill, and each episode tells you about a different nurse and how they either attempted to kill people or killed a whole bunch of people. Weird stuff like that. The one lady was from Texas, and she was like people that are like on dialysis. They always have like a tube sticking out of them to to give themselves medicine and stuff like that. I know that because my aunt was on that for a long time. But while they were on dialysis and stuff like that, she was like sucking bleach out of like a bucket and inserting it into people, you know. Like this lady was like had no idea that she was like she when she's getting talked to by the cops and stuff like that, she's I never did that and then blah 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 and it's like clearly there's two patients that were sitting in a waiting room waited to get on dialysis and watched this lady do this and you know them people obviously went into cardiac arrest and stuff like that but so I guess it starts shutting down all your organs but like weird stuff like that like one doctor like one nurse would like give people IV stuff that would slow their heart rate. Like if somebody was like having a heart attack or something and their heart was beating real fast, you gave it to them and it slowed their heart down. But if there's nothing wrong with somebody, you give it to them and it basically stops their heart. He was doing that to try and be the hero and save all these people, but he killed people more than he saved them. So he got busted after a bunch of times for doing that. And he did this at like 3 different hospitals. And luckily, thankfully, but like everything was changed in like hospital settings and stuff like that. That it's basically physically impossible for nurses and stuff like that to get a hold of medicine without like a big giant paper trail to go behind, you know, to go through. So if you would take medicine that you weren't supposed to have, you know, everybody would know it because your name would be signed to a piece of paper. And the other thing I didn't watch yet, but I seen it today. Apparently there's a Dragon Quest anime movie which if that doesn't bring back my childhood, nothing will. Dragon Quest obviously used to be Dragon Warrior. I talked about this plenty of times on this show. I played Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest 11 on PlayStation. Played Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2 on the Switch. Played Dragon Warrior 1 on the regular Nintendo. I played, I think, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 on an iPad or my phone. I think I played a bunch of these things. Played the first one for PlayStation back in the day, but I didn't care for that one for some reason. Like in my early 20s, so I basically gave it back to them within a day, and they gave me all my money back. But yeah, I'll definitely watch that movie at some point in time this week. But other than that, that's basically all I've watched. Like I told Tut, like I screwed up my sleeping schedule so messed up this weekend from sleeping and stuff because Wolcen wasn't out and sleeping and stuff and then staying up all night and stuff like that. And yeah, hopefully I'm back to normal now. But yeah, that's why this episode's pretty late in the week. Because last night I was in bed by long before now. You have anything else for the show, Mr. Tut?
No, I mean, thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to, getting back on D3, so we'll have some actual, gameplay to talk about.
Yeah. I don't know. Depends on, how into Wolcen I am when this next season starts. I don't know. I'm not too enthused with these sets and stuff like that. I'll play a Frenzy Barb, but it's not a Demon Hunter, man. And Like this last season, I didn't care about any of them sets either. Like I played the Crusader a little bit, but I really didn't care about it. I didn't play it very much. And I seen, the way people were manipulating stuff and stuff like that, and I kind of it kind of ruins it for you, and you like don't want to play because people are doing what they're doing, and yeah, we'll find out when the season ends and the hype for the next season. I'll probably be there opening weekend, but I don't know anything above and beyond that. I don't want to give anybody any. I'm going to be doing this for all season of blah 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 because I know it. I'll be basically lying to them at this point. Um, but yeah, if probably gonna start out next season probably a demon hunter, roll that into a barbarian at some point, and we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna go monk, and I'm probably only gonna play monk. It's like I really want to try all the new barb stuff, but I don't feel like I gave monk a fair shake in season 9.
yeah, season 21 to me is more of a, and I don't even care what the buff is. I just want to play season 21 because you know what the you know what the last two sets are. So
Yeah, I mean we're all hoping Demon Hunter Shocker, right?
yeah, hopefully. And I don't know what they're gonna do with Necro. I can only imagine what they're gonna do with that. But give me a shock room, freaking Demon Hunter, man. I just want it so bad. I want that back in my life. Yeah. Anyway, um, you've been listening to episode 250 of the Shattered Soulstone, your Diablo community podcast. Missed an episode? You can find the show's blog. Listen to the show archives at www.shatteredsoulstone.com. With your support, you can help the show grow. Become a Patreon today, patreon.com/soulstone. Come join us in-game or in-game community and clan, both named the Shattered Soulstone. We're open to anyone who would like to join. God, this thing sucks. Not the clan or the thing, but this thing wasn't scrolling, I was just going by memory. You can also join us on Discord for the ultimate team and community-based experience. Find the Discord invitation link on the Twitter as well as the Facebook page and the Shattered Soulstone website. This show is powered by you, the listener. Send your contributions, thoughts, questions, and feedback to show@shatteredsoulstone.com. We love Twitter. Come join and tweet with us. You can find the show's Twitter at @ShatteredStone, DeadGreed at DeadGreed1812, and you can find me at Shazam081. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Medros of Dawnforge Productions for hosting our Loot Deviant show. You can find more shows from the Dawnforge, www.thedawnforge.com. I think I missed something. With your support, you can help the show grow. Become a Patreon today. I don't know if I said this or not. Patreon.com/Soulstone. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Hopefully I won't butcher it next weekend. From all of us here at the Shattered Soulstone, over 249 episodes for your listening pleasure.
Dawnforge!